Okay, is it fixed? Okay, great. I just had the audio on the wrong channel for recording, so I split the audio so that's on two different banks. So I guess I'll just go over everything I've said. So today we're working on the adventure logs. I really want to get the Agris adventure log going. So that's the one that we're doing first. So we're gathering bear meat because that's one of the steps. And then we'll have to go gather wheat. Scrolling up here. There's a free outfit box in the new event. I don't specifically ban like event type items. I just don't enjoy doing them. I think events in the game are kind of terrible. But if it's a free outfit box, maybe I'll look into it. If it's something that I don't mind doing, maybe I will. Alt F4 to activate mic, yeah. Victor, thank you. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I guess there's a couple of people doing it. I didn't know that when I started, but everyone kind of has their own spin on it, so it's really interesting. And there's 30 bear meat, so we'll go get the wheat now. JP, I hadn't seen any of them either, and then I started doing them, and then I saw a handful of them on YouTube now, which is kind of interesting. But I got about like 5 or 6 episodes out before I saw anybody else doing it. Some of them are farther than I am by quite a lot, so. Alright. I think it's an interesting spin. Like, I've been playing BDO for 7 or 8 years now, whenever it came out, and I've always played it conventionally and just bought all my stuff, so it's interesting to see all the things in the game that I don't know about, just from having to get everything myself. Hey Nex, how's it going? Explicit, yeah, I figured I'd try it out. Probably won't be super long today, but we'll give it a shot. Yeah, crons are 3 mil now, which is kind of disappointing. I think it was a bad change from the developers. Just from like, they're doing it to combat inflation, but actually it just creates inflation because now everybody that has all the gear is just farther away from the beginner players, but it is what it is, man. It'll just take longer to get where we're going, which is already something that's going to take a while anyway, so. I know they wouldn't mind if I use the Dream Horse, but I think I would mind. It just feels weird. I'm already in the process of working on making a tier 8. I just started that earlier today, actually, so hopefully I'll get a courser and then be able to make it into a dream, and then if I can make one dream, then I'll just use the other one on the tag. I agree, Victor. It definitely just makes it take longer for newer players to catch up, so I'm not sure what their theory is there. There's definitely better ways to handle their, like, bottom line and trying to make more money from people. But Pearl Abyss has a habit of, like, coming up with an idea and then thinking it's the only way to go, so. Unpack Dream Horse for 1,000 subs. Maybe. Like, I guess if I get partnered, that would be like an interesting little benchmark to maybe do that. We'll have to see how that goes. I'm trying to gather wheat, which theoretically is in this field, but I could be wrong about that. I need 100 wheat for the Book of Margahan. Judas, I can't use the horse market either. I can't interact with other players in that way. If the horse market was just a vendor for base silver, then that I could, but it's other players selling those things, so. Oh, pets that show resources, good idea. Yeah, so I am imperialing some of the horses. It gives like a tiny bit of money, but I don't even know if there's wheat in this field. I thought there was, but I could be wrong. We may have to figure out a different way to get wheat. There was a ping there, or I'm crazy maybe. That's just a wild herb as well. Yeah, I might have to set up that node and then just do this one later. Yeah. Maybe we'll do that real quick. I don't think I have a spare worker, but we can grab one. And then I'll just work on the Bartoli log instead for a little bit. Is that 45 minutes per proc or 45 minutes to get 100? They do sell wheat seed, but I already have a bunch of... I might actually have magical wheat seeds in. Yeah, let's just go harvest a magical wheat seed. Then we're good. Next, we are working on pushing our gear theoretically to Tet, but wherever it lands. So we're mostly going for scrolls, And then I'm trying to get the tri-crescent for the Penjatina accessory, is the main things that we're working on right now. We'll just harvest a couple of these. Or one, that works. I think those will work, hopefully. I guess we'll see. Yeah, so it seems like we're really, really lucky with like boss drops and things, and then just terrible at enhancing, which I guess makes sense. I've always had poor enhancing luck. Oh gosh. He's got no stam. Well, that's interesting that you can exchange them. Yeah, we still have the Tri-Ruin, and now it's even farther away to get the Tet Ruin. It's going to be about 3 billion silver instead of 2. Let's see, Altar of Agris is one of these two, I think. How's it going, the Dav? Hopefully I'm not mispronouncing everyone's name. Victor, my main account was 690 something, 698, something like that. I had a couple of maps, a compass, 2 sets of the potions, all that stuff. Was working on the merchant ring, had I think 2 pieces of the merchant ring. It's definitely unfortunate that they're 3 mil now instead of 2, but it doesn't really matter to me. We'll keep going. It's not going to discourage me from the challenge. It just means that it'll take a little longer. But when I get enough gear to be able to do things like Histria or even Orcs, then it's actually going to be not a problem at all. On my main account, I was a Zerker and a Ninja, though, so having the random classes is pretty different. I'm not used to them. Learning the basics of, like, a grinding rotation is really easy, but it'll be quite a while before I can defend my spot. Mostly due to skill, but also because of my gear. And Sork isn't really great at grinding anything. I think it'll be okay in, like, Histria, but we're mostly going to be on the Guardian for pretty much everything else. I got pretty lucky on the Sakraya one. I think it was about 36 hours for me, but choice, I think, was like 255 or something. It's absolutely crazy. Do they put that Marnie realm in with this patch, or are we still waiting on that? I do need the regular wheat. Okay. Let's go do that. Logia Farm. Okay, let's go over there. 4-1. So I'll need 400, not 100. Okay, let's go back to the farms then. Took a break from BDO. Only played active for 2 or 3 weeks and did season. Tet Blackstar is definitely a good step. Cagton piece after 10 hours. That's really lucky. Yeah, Shuriken is probably the worst spot in the game, honestly. You just get CC'd, like you get knocked down and then knocked down again while you're already knocked down. Terrible. I usually wait for the event where they have it at Proddy Cave. Proddy Cave just has like a better drop rate on them and is far less annoying. Well, luckily it'll be like a really long time before we make it to Ackman, Victor, so hopefully they'll get it fixed by then. I generally prefer Histria, but I think I'd do Sorkin, Histria, and Guardian of Ackman. Judah's, BDO is kind of like a sandbox, and by sandbox it mostly means choose your own path. You gotta figure out what you want to do in the game, and then take steps to push toward that. Ronros is probably my favorite spot. I just like the aesthetic over there. Everybody was grinding the potion next, but I think there's less people grinding for it now because you can just buy it on the market. There's some people that have convinced themselves that it's worth doing as like a money-making method, but like really it isn't, so there should be a whole lot less people at those spots now. I grinded for 2 HP potions and 2 MP potions before they added in the pities, so I spent a really long time at all the spots. I don't really use the Marnie Realm. I did for, I think, 2 or 3 of the hours at Cagtums recently, just because I wanted that specific spot. I mostly don't run into people, and when I do, you just switch servers and you're good. I think I grind at a weird time too, though. I usually grind pretty early in the morning, so... It doesn't really matter if you jump around or stay in the same spot, Victor. The drop rate is the drop rate. It may seem like you have some sort of influence on it by switching spots, and there's a lot of tinfoil on that, but it just is what it is, man. You just gotta keep trucking. Yeah, Mina just doesn't have enough servers, and that's the problem. But NA has so many servers, there's always gonna be a free spot. Hello, Lost Impact. I heard something about there was like pieces that you could get in exchange for a variety of things, but I haven't looked into that at all. I think that's been live in Korea for a bit though, hasn't it? I think it'd have to be, Victor, otherwise it would just make the regular spots irrelevant. You could just pick one that you like and stay there for all of them. That seems like a lot, JP. Is it like 100 for a potion piece, or? I don't know how any of that works. I haven't looked at it at all. Oh, interesting, Luke. Who was the exchange person, Shotgun? Yeah, it didn't seem like there was an option for that. Alright, next. Have a good one, man. That's all good. It's worth trying. We'll just run and get a worker on it, and then we'll go on to the Bartoli log or something for a bit. Oh gosh. I don't know why they'd let you do peppers but not wheat. I guess it's because you can use the blue wheat in exchange for like more than one of the white ones, so. Alright, Victor, have a good night. We're gonna keep going. Keep posting more videos, so. I have a bad habit of running off without my horse, and then I regret it as soon as I run out of stam. On a scale of 1 to 10, how motivated are you currently to finish this challenge? I think finish is a strong word. I'm motivated to participate in. I know it's going to take a really long time to finish, but I'm playing every day, so I would say pretty motivated, probably like an 8 or a 9. I'm having fun with it, so certainly more fun than I was having on my main account. The live stream should save as a VOD in the playlist. Assuming I set it up correctly, which is 50-50 at this point. It should do, though. They added a tree. Wow. Okay, I need a lodging. Yeah, Tet Ruins is 50-50, you get it or you don't. Old ones don't show up. This is my first ever live stream, so there aren't any old ones to show in the playlist, but this one should be added into there. I don't remember if I actually got it or not. I think I did. I got the Moretti one. There's an event node now, too. Over here? I have chicken meat going, if that's it. You talking about these archaeologist sacks, or are they different than that? Oh, jeez. Is it actually worth doing, or what does it give you? Alright, well, we'll run up there. Definitely sounds worth doing. I just don't pay attention to any of the events. Probably gonna need more lodging up here as well then. Is that just a spam complete quest, JP, or do I have to actually like go do something? I'm not a big fan of doing things for people. Yeah, I think a lot of my farms I just have storage in. I'll just spam complete, good. That'll make it easy then. I've gotten a few of the orbs, JP, but realistically, I'm probably not going to end up having a tier 4 fairy. And the tier 3 fairy, I think, is limited at level 4 cheer, which is kind of what I'm hoping for. It's 3 seconds instead of 2 seconds, but it should be good enough for the challenge at least. Yeah, but you need a bunch of the, what are they called? A bunch of the sweet honey wines. You need like 400 of them. And then that's just a chance to get the better miraculous cheer. $600 mil if I could buy them off the market, sure, but I can't. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes easy things are not easy. But that's okay. I'm banking on the level 4. Level 4 is going to be plenty, so. Alright, got that set up. We're going to switch gears a little bit and go for the Bartoli log instead of the Margrahan one. I did see the new challenge rewards, and there's a couple of them sitting in here. I haven't claimed any of those yet. Yeah. I have a couple of orbs in here too. Somewhere. Yeah, 5 of them there as well, but... Alright, which book are we on? 8. Do-do-do. Make wise man's blood. Okay. Yeah, I lost impact. It's a whole week of recording goes into one, and then they're usually about 10 minutes long, sometimes a little longer. I don't have like 8 hours a day to play either, but I do what I can. Okay, let's see what we need for Wise Man's Blood. To Fox Blood, which I'm assuming Weasel Blood would work. Maybe. We need this clear liquid reagent. I think I have all that. Sunrise Herb, Purified Water, Wild Grass. I'm not big on life skilling either. It's something I've totally avoided up until now, so I don't know anything about it. Wild grass is actually a thing. Okay. Oh, there it is. Okay. And I have purified water, so we just need a salt. A lot of the comments and stuff have been really helpful too. Kind of like changed my view on certain things. Alright, and then I think I can just go to a general goods vendor to get an alchemy tool. Should be up here. Yeah. I think it's one of each, maybe? Okay. Now we just need all the other stuff. I think I have Monk's Branch and Ascension sitting in the bank here. Ascension. Monk's Branch. Alright, let's go get some fox blood, and then we should be good for that step. I had to take a break from spamming the night vendor, mostly because I ran out of silver, but also because I needed to use energy for other things, so... I haven't been to the night vendor in a few days. I'm pretty worried about that, because he hasn't, like, given me anything in a while, and I still have these +7 Zareth shoes, so... I do have it on a mouse button, Lost Impact. Which with Sork lets you do this weird forward thing. Life skilling is kind of meh nowadays. MP got way worse. Yeah, even when it was like better than grinding, I never did it. It's just not something that I enjoy doing, so... The only thing in the game that's worth doing is grinding right now, realistically. Everything else is just so much worse money. Okay, one of these, two of these. And one of these. Even like Arena of Solaire, which is could be really great, honestly, is just bad because of the lack of rewards, so. Okay, borrow a cannon and hit the target. I think most people, JP, just save up their loyalties for the one-day value pack, and then that's when they collect all the stuff that they've sold. Helps quite a lot with that. You could also consider going for the merchant ring. Like, it's kind of a meme, but it would help a little bit, but outside of that, Orcs is the best place for a free-to-play. It mostly just drops vendor items anyway, so... It is the first one, Billy. Okay, there's a vague picture of this. And I think you gotta be over there. To the right of this rock, I think. This is either gonna go well or it isn't, and I'm not really sure. Whoop. Or maybe it's not going to go that well. Shift and W to lower angle. Okay, but it just moves it. I hate this thing. Okay, I think I'm figuring it out. It could, like, tell you that there's no cannonballs in there, or that you have to load them or something. Okay, are we gonna one-shot this? Probably not. One shot, okay. Now we never have to do that again. Yay. It is a lot to lose to marketplace tax, JP. But that's one of their, like, silver destruction methods that they think is going to combat inflation. It doesn't really work, though. Yeah, Billy, like, the problem is that it expires every day, and it's, like, a lot of investment. If I was able to grind, like, a lot in one day, it would make sense. But I'm only grinding 1, maybe 2 hours in a day anyway. So running back to town in between is not a big deal, and it takes less time than gathering everything I'd need for the anvil. Okay, I'm just gonna leave that there forever, probably. Okay, these ones are going to be annoying to do, I think. Gotta go to 3 caves. First one is over here somewhere. There are some days that I have more time than that, but it just seems like a lot of sidetracking when the main thing I want to do is just grind. And nowhere I'm grinding is like crazy far from town anyway. I do have a main Billy, but I don't really play it anymore. I got like 698 gear score and had all the rare stuff except the merchant ring. I was working on that. I was just kind of bored of doing the same thing all the time. There's only like one good grind spot and you start running out of gear and stuff to go for. So I wanted to like completely flip the idea of BDO on its head and try that. Mine was exactly the opposite. I got carried on the compass, but took, I think, almost 300 hours to get the map. But I got the Elton piece in my first loop of main rotation. I was just learning the rotation. And halfway around, kind of on back, just before you go back into main, that Elton right at the end just dropped the Elton piece for me, so... Yeah, like not even 1,000 trash. I couldn't even tell you how many minutes it was, but it must have been 2 or 3 maybe. And then I went to Achman, got that in about 3 hours, and then came back. And within 20 minutes I got the Vodkin piece, so... Yeah, for every guy like me that just goes in and it drops right away, there's a guy that, like big and shiny, that spends thousands of hours going for it, so... Group stuff isn't against the policy, I just don't care for the dungeons. I might end up doing them for the memory fragments, but we'll have to see how that goes. Riot does have a pretty good track record with that kind of stuff, but an MMO is like a whole other animal. It's going to be totally out of their comfort zone, so hopefully they do well with it, but I'm a bit nervous to see if they're going to be able to balance it and what their monetization is like. I've actually thought about it quite a lot. Outside of like, so I never streamed before this, so it wasn't like a big deal watching me just ride around on a terrible horse, but when it was just recording, like it didn't matter how long it took to get from A to B. So I didn't really want to use it, but it's definitely something to think about if I'm going to keep live streaming and stuff. Okay, there's supposed to be a hole around here. The screenshots aren't real great. But it looks like... maybe it's by this bush over here? There it is. Nailed it. Oh gosh. I could flip a coin, I guess, or maybe I'll do like a poll or something and let people vote on it. I've already selected the Pegasus, though, so I can't get the unicorn anymore. Alright, there's one of them. Oh gosh. Can you not go out this very obvious gap? I feel like the game's cheating me. Uh... Yeah, I think we're swimming. Wait. Saved it. That may actually be the only use for Morningstar. I think the only good-looking one is the purple one. Yeah, ticket him. Can you teleport me to Velia? I'm stuck. Next one's over here somewhere. Yeah, I accidentally chose the wrong horse and then typed in the full name and sex of the horse accidentally. They probably got a lot of tickets on that though, even though they put so many like steps in place to make sure that you're choosing the right one. Maybe they would, but I kind of already made my bed, man. It's time to lie in it. The Pegasus is probably the best choice for like a normal person anyway, so. I will say I tried to go out to Gahas earlier today and my horse died on the way, so I had to turn around and go back to town. Without my horse, I can't even grind. They have all those like shotgunners and snipers that shoot you while you're running through. Hopefully this is the right cave. I think this is the Lawn Awakening cave, isn't it? This way? Oh. Okay, west of Eastern Gateway now. I think Pegasus is like the best choice for all accounts, really. I'm definitely a Doom fan, and I always choose Doom, but I think Pegasus is just a better horse. I think the nice thing about eventually getting to Ackman and Histria is it's not actually going to matter which one I end up in. Because Sork is pretty good at Histria and Guardian is really good at Ackman, so I'll just grind on whatever class I end up in, whether it be Histria or Ackman. I was at Crescent's, Billy. I've been looking for a spot that's better for scrolls, though, because I don't want to waste a bunch of loot scrolls just to get scrolls. So I've been kind of poking around looking for somewhere that just drops more scrolls naturally, and I think I found a pretty good spot. I've been over at Gahas for a bit. It drops about 4 times as many scrolls as Crescent's. I still need a Crescent ring, so I'll have to see how that goes, but I've been going to Gahas to get money for a bit. I already have a Brandstone on my Kudum. I just haven't re-tagged, so it hasn't like carried over to the Guardian yet. Yeah, the T10 Pegasus can basically climb straight up a vertical wall, which is crazy. Histria may actually be my favorite spot in the game still, Billy. I've spent probably 300 hours there after the Compass. I really just like it. I do need to make Crescents with Iona as well. That's part of the reason I was pushing away from being at Crescents. It's just not that great of money. And really bad for scrolls, so I don't want to be there if I don't have to be. I know Centaurs is really good, Nate. I just personally don't care for Centaurs. So I was looking around for somewhere that's comfy but better than Crescents. Yeah, a loot scroll would help with pretty much everywhere I am. I just have such a limited supply. I want to save it for things that I'm really dreading. Like Turos really scares me. I just don't like Turos, but I have to go get the flame there. So I'd rather those all be loot scrolled hours and then spend more time at somewhere that's not as good, like Gahas or Kadri. Could node level help? Yes, node level could help a lot. It just directly increases your drop rate. But I've been spending all of my energy on Night Vendor because I'm still trying to get the Uragons. I don't really want to invest resources into these Xerath shoes because they're just purely wasted. So I've just been pushing super hard to try and get Uragons. And they just haven't dropped yet. I need to do the Pit of the Undying. I just, man. When I get on, I just want to go somewhere and turn my brain off and go in circles, you know what I mean? I need to start doing it though, that's for sure. Well, I almost nailed that with my ping, look at that. Okay. It definitely could help, JP. And I do need to do it, you're right. Do you do Node Wars for honor medallions? I don't, Lost Impact. The time that I'm on right now, which is a couple hours before Node Wars, I think, is not a conventional time for me. So my schedule just doesn't really line up with Node Wars. And I mostly just don't enjoy them, so... Maybe eventually I'll find a nice little T1 guild or something to mess around in, but I also don't want to like bring them down, so I want to at least meet requirements and stuff. Make an advanced cooking utensil. Great. Which one was the tool workshop? I forget. I have Grumpy Green Cricket up. It kind of has like screenshots on some of the more difficult ones. Some of them are not really clear though. I don't really do video guides though. It's just like a written guide. Okay, this one's actually going to take quite a lot more life skilling. Polished stone, so I need rough stone. Logs, iron, blackstone powder. Iron and blackstone powder be easy. The other two are going to take a bit. So I think we might run up to Gahas for a little bit. Take a break from the adventure log. Go in some circles for a little while. I need to have a stash of money like big enough to buy the Uragons if they pop, so... Yeah, it's not too bad. It's just not like spamming R. I just have like a limited attention span for adventure logs and stuff. I've done them all already before and it was terrible. And it's still terrible, but even worse now. Chris Polly definitely has like a lot of good information. Evil Do Us Harm, when he first started, it was questionable, but he's definitely got a lot better too. So either of those guys are really good. They really know their stuff now. I usually just use Green Cricket for everything. Or I guess BDO Codex also. That's definitely the idea. I'll be kind of in that area anyway, so I'll just get all the rough stone that I need real quick. Mm. Some of the playtime rewards they added are crazy. I guess it's 50,000 hours, but 40,000 gets you 200 sacks. That's really good. We just need 2,500 more hours, and then we get another pet. We can make another tier 3 attempt. Did you ever see the ones before the ones that you're thinking of, Squish? Because the first ones they had when they first launched the game were even worse still. Yeah, like a hey, thanks for playing 30,000 hours. Appreciate that. Yeah, and have like a Mark Shadows or something in it. It's just terrible stuff. I'm gonna make an attempt at your name, and it's gonna be wrong. I'm gonna call you Andre. I'm sure that's wrong, but I don't like asking for that stuff. I appreciate that you are, but thank you. Oh yeah, Jesus rings, I think, are the... No, those are the evasion ones. Gosh, I don't even remember now, Billy. They're worth like 200 silver or something. Really terrible. Are they still on the market? I guess we can see. Accessories. All of these were, yeah, ruby rings and stuff, all terrible. They used to give that kind of stuff out. I remember when Bear's rings were like what everybody was wearing for AP rings. That was a long time ago. Wow. No worries, explicit. That's kind of what it's here for. BDO is like you just have streams going on the side while you're grinding, basically. I do the same thing, so. Yeah, I sometimes look on the central market just to see what's there. I think it's really funny to just not care about any of this stuff. I wonder if the potions are on it. I'm sure the potions are on here. What do they cost now? Oh gosh. I don't even know how to look for them. Oh, or net. Why are they not called infinite HP? I feel like these are gonna go up to 20 bill, man. That's a lot of trades, though. Maybe people gave up. I don't have any carrots. Where are we? Oh, jeez. Oh yeah, the Ring of Good Deeds. I'd always just delete those. They used to give some of those as quest rewards, too. From the main quest line. Even back then, I don't think people were using them. If you had a Tet Bears, you were like a god back then. It was crazy how much, like, what was it, like 10 AP or 11 AP? It really made a difference. Where's that horse guy? There he is. Hoshimi, it's actually the first stream, so welcome. $10 AP at try. What was it, 12 at Tet then? Michael, all good, man. I'm a little bit ahead of the videos, but not by a ton. But there's a couple of spoilers in there. Plus 15 Laverto. You must have been like really geared back when like plus 15 was the max. Just smashed everybody. The current plan is we're going to Gahas. I spent some time on the adventure logs, but I just get bored of that stuff really fast, so we're gonna go make a little bit of money. Yeah, plus 15 Uria and stuff, Billy. That was the way to go. It's a good time, Squish. I've like totally given up my main though, so definitely BDO is like super time consuming. But have a good one. We got some stuff in the works, Michael. Just gotta give it time. Everything is so time consuming doing it this way, so. If it's not the memory fragments, it's the black stones and on, so. People used to mob boss trains back in the day because they didn't want people getting too high of a level. They didn't want people getting ahead of them. So they'd find the highest level gear guy on the server and just all kind of gang up on him. Nuke his XP. I'm not working on Simple Cron because of how crazy it is to actually like set up that empire. You lose some stats, it's not that crazy. The weight would be good, but realistically I don't have enough weight to make it an hour even with that. So it's simply for the time investment. It would take such a long time to have that set up to where I could actually use those all the time. Eventually I will have to, Michael, but for now, at least when I'm grinding squishy mobs, I'm really just not worrying about it. JP, the wing, I believe, is part of the costume. You also need the horn for the other part, and then the bloodlet eyes, I think, are like the enhancement material for it. Definitely worth a Google if you're interested in the Nuver costume. I think it costs like 30 bill though, give or take. I think I actually have the horn to show you. Yeah. And then you get like the Nuvermon pet, and then like the Nuvericant title. Yeah, it's crazy expensive, but and so many people have it now, like it's not even that rare anymore, which is interesting. I didn't figure so many people would like go 30 bill out of their way for a costume, but they're doing it. Bloodstorm Nuver is still scary, man. You, I guess, could get a Tet Nuver box, but Even if you get one of the boxes, it's usually just a base neuver. Okay, we're gonna try this a little bit smarter this time. Because last time I ran through Gahas, this horse died. And then I just had to turn around. So I think we're gonna park her on the horse. And then use the Sork to get us where we're going. It almost doesn't even matter what your gear score is, JP. No, like, you just don't survive. People usually just unequip their crystals. Because they know they're gonna die. Tama, the main account really isn't anything special, man. I've played on it for a long time, but... I have a couple of DR crystals, Billy. Once we get where we're going, I'll show you my fancy crystal setup. Yeah, that's fair. I just haven't logged into it since I started this challenge. I was pretty bored with it after playing so long. So I just wanted to do something new. Maybe one day I'll bring it back, though. Alright, here's the crystals. I have 2 of these DR crystals. And then I put in the Gervish for the LT. Then I have some attack speed ones and some HP ones. That's pretty much it. Got a back attack one there because I didn't have 2 of the crit ones. I just kind of threw in whatever was available and then had to rip some stuff out when I got the Gervish. It's good to make your own goals, Lost Impact. That's part of what makes the game fun. If it was a single player game, it'd be like a little different, but it's definitely a big sandbox, so you really have to make your own way. Yeah, Tama, I've been playing since launch, so sometimes off and on, but for a really long time. I have so many hours, I couldn't even tell you how many. So I just wanted to try something that's different from the typical BDO experience. That's where I got them, Billy, from these Faint Magical Crystal boxes. I haven't even opened all of them, but that's where I got all the ones I have. I think I have an Elkar floating around, but since my DP is so low, I don't want to like risk breaking it. Alright, let's make a little bit of money. I probably have like 50,000 ammo over the years. This is my first MMO that I really got into, so played it for a super long time. Any tips in place to grind to get to 62? That's going to depend on what your gear is, explicit. There's a lot of places that are really good. If you want it to happen super fast, you can look for a party at Orcs to carry you. Who do you play as your main character on main account? Mostly Ninja and Zerker. I played Zerker since I started playing the game, and then within the last year I tagged a Ninja. Probably, Billy. Let's give it a shot. Once they get their hooks in you, Tama, like, you just... nothing else feels as good. It's not a good sign, guys. Everything's dead. There's already a guy here. $270, $320. You could do solo trees if you just wanted to push it, or you can get a group for trees, that'd work too. Pretty much anywhere is going to get you there, it just depends on how fast you want to push it. I still have all my fingers, Shapey. It's actually not too bad to play Ninja. Once you kind of like get the rotation down, it's pretty comfy. I didn't do a ton of PvP on it though. That's probably where the finger breaking comes in. Gosh, I don't know this rotation. Oh. Oh. I gotta go get my horse. Or I'm gonna run out of inventory really fast. I think I could put my horse in the middle there. So does it go up this cliff on the left then? And then like back down this side, or? Because that seems like a lot. I don't think you need that much. Why Gahas over Crescents? Gahas has a much higher drop rate of scrolls, I've found. I don't have a ton of experience on that, but it seems to be like 4 times the amount. And is pretty similar on money. Oh gosh, more event crap. Okay, this isn't too bad, actually. I better get my horse, though. Okay, hopefully I can get him there without him dying. This did not go well last time. We made it! Miracle. The spot that I called him at is actually the spot that he died in last time. And I just gave up. I just went back to town. Yeah, so eventually I'll open like the sealeds, but I need to have a handful of them for the Penjatina, so I want to get those locked down first, and then I'll open the rest. Work toward a better crystal set. Yeah, Shikadu's like right down the hill. It's a much better run time than Crescent's was, having to run through the desert and all that. That's why I have the waters still. It's not so that I use them when I get the debuff. It's just so that when I get back to town I can get rid of it, so I don't have to keep spamming potions. But you'd have to manually ride all the way back to town. Oh gosh, there's a guy. go get murdered, shall we? Or just sneak by him with no issue? See, that's 2 scrolls already. That's a whole hour at Crescents right there. Alright, Billy, have a good night, man. Originally from New York. I think UK is probably a better place to live than New York in my mind. I've never been to New York, but I only hear negative things. It is kind of a shame, JP. I saw that they are doing like permanent drops now for Twitch, but Twitch is headed in an interesting direction, so It's just not a platform that I care to be on. Oh, Buffalo, okay. Well, hopefully you like where you are, at least. Yeah, that's pretty much all it takes, huh, Billy? The things we do for love. I'm fixing to die right now. Yep. Oh. There it is. Took him a while. See where a safe zone takes me. It was bound to happen eventually. Maybe we'll go back to a regular channel. So the mic quality is mostly due to the built-in compressor system that OBS has. If you like finagle your settings, you can get it to sound pretty good. There's plenty of YouTube videos that'll walk you through what to do. The mic I use is a HyperX Quadcast. I don't really like the Quadcast. I'd rather have like a different cardioid mic, but it's not bad. Nah, that's alright. We'll just give up that 50% drop rate buff. And we'll go back to the regular spot, maybe. So then I can turn my brain off. Yeah, the horse thing is quite a struggle for me. My main account has weight on every character that I've ever played, and has about 30 storage made, so I've never even thought about it, but kind of getting used to it. Alright, man, sleep well. Oh, interesting. So what you're saying is we need to go back to Crescents? An interesting way to try to add relevancy to spots that aren't relevant, instead of just adding money or whatever. Should work pretty good, though. I think your chat messages might have a delay. The stream naturally has a delay on it. I think it's set for like 20 seconds or something, just as it is. And that's kind of the minimum I can do. I definitely don't think it was ruined there, Shotgun. I think that's a benefit. Because I don't think any of these are female up here, right? Except for that one, like, event thing that spawns. So. I guess they're welcome. They did say that on one of their Hydel balls, or Calpheon balls, whatever it was, JP, that the HP potions aren't really like a treasure item anymore. They're almost mandatory. And that's why they've done so much to make them easier to get. Something like that, Shotgun. I think it's just that there's less people complaining about the ferry. Awakening Guardian Succession Sork. Ninja's really good, man. That's what I play on my main account with Zerker. Really, really strong. Definitely a lot more buttons than Guardian, though. But you'll get used to it pretty fast. I don't mind Guardian. I prefer Zerker and Ninja to Guardian, but Guardian was one of the selections of the challenge, so it's definitely a lot better than Suck Sork at this stuff, but it's definitely slow. Have you tried Succession Guardian? Succession Guardian is quite a lot faster. It's still a bit slow, but it's definitely a lot faster feeling. 5 scrolls already. It's definitely just way better than Crescents for scrolls. Is that 7 now? Yeah. Wow. I think we're just getting lucky this hour. I don't think it's supposed to be that many normally. Hardest class to play in PvE and PvP. Do you want the same class or which one's harder for each of those things because they're different? PvP I think is going to be good at Awakening Zerker. It's just a lot of mouse movement and stuff that you don't have to learn for any other class. Positioning and all that. PvE, I don't know that there is a hard class in PvE. Maybe Ninja? Just because how many buttons it is? That's hard to say though. Or I guess Drac because it's the worst in PvE. So maybe that would make it hard? I don't know. Is Awakening decent? I've heard they were both bad. What are your thoughts on vendor cron price change for the Ironman? So even from a non-Ironman perspective, I think it's a really terrible change. Their reason for doing it is to combat inflation, which is just not real. That's not true. It doesn't combat inflation at all. All it does is makes new players farther from veteran players again. They're just moving the goalpost even farther away, even though they spent the last 2 years moving the goalpost closer. It's just the wrong decision. As far as the Ironman goes, like, it just means everything is 50% more expensive and takes 50% longer. It's not that big of a deal. This is a kind of challenge that was going to take a really long time anyway. So it doesn't discourage me or change my direction or route or goal or anything, so. There are people of the same mindset as me on the cron change that have a much more educated opinion on it. People who are very, like, math-centric, like Biohack, for example. I think he did a video on it if you want to look at that and see why it's a bad change. I didn't watch the video, but... Does he, like, break down the math on it, JP? Because mathematically, it really doesn't make sense either. And that's kind of his thing, so I assume he would go into that. But it's taken a guy like Choice, who is incredibly geared, and has earned that, and basically added 50% to his gear's value overnight for nothing. Which means you now need to get 50% more gear than he does. I do too, Poke. Like, the idea came from OSRS, actually. There's a guy called Settled who did, well, still does various, like, Ironman style series. So I took that concept and wanted to apply it to Black Desert. I don't play RuneScape either, and I've watched most of his videos too, so... We could be, Quinny. I had a guild called Ironman for a little bit there just to get the rewards, but I disbanded it. We could start one up. Just invite a bunch of Ironman. That's true, Rise, but so do the endgame players. So yes, you make 50% more, but so do they. They're moving away from you at the same rate. You're just farther behind now. I've heard of Final Fantasy XI. I never played it, but I have heard of it. I know what you're talking about. What's interesting, Shotgun, is that Quinny has a different approach than I do on the same sort of topic, even applied toward the same game. We have pretty varied restrictions and stuff. It's really interesting to see how different they are, even though they're the same sort of concept. I do wonder why he's putting so many resources into his boots, but I guess it's not really my place to ask. Did you start that on your own, Quinny, or is that just like one that you just happen to be in? Using the CM for storage. I mean, I've thought about it, but what they really need to do is just make scrolls stack in regular storage too, and then it wouldn't matter. But they don't have to do that because they've made it stack in the central market, and nobody's crazy enough to just not use that, so they think they've solved the problem, so. They also did that with the horse flute. Oddly enough, there used to be, or still is, a glitch where you can whistle your horse with trade items through the desert. And their solution to that was not to fix the problem, but it was to release a new horse flute that can't whistle trade items. You just have to stop grinding and go run your scrolls whenever your storage gets full, Shotgun. It is annoying, but it's just one of those things. Yeah, sounds good, Quinny. Creating problems to sell solutions is kind of like their MO, though. They've done that for a really long time. They've kind of started to pull away from it more recently, but this cron change really blows my mind. This is like 2016 Pearl Abyss. Best spot for XP for level 63 with 302, 350. Probably Orcs or Underground Gyphon, man. Your DP might be a bit rough at Gyphon, but I think you could pull through. If you know the mechanics and stuff. If you know the mechanics at Gyphon, you can actually just take all your armors off. Especially with that high of AP, you just kill them so fast. If you're a squishy class, 350 might be rough. Orcs would be really comfy for you, though. Yeah, 380 is definitely like the minimum DP for going there for the first time. Even then, you'll die a lot, but if you already know the spot, you can do it earlier. Oh, hey, one of these event things. I agree, AVL. We just talked about it a little bit, but it's definitely the wrong decision on their part, just from a player perspective. I assume this event is like all their other ones, where one of them is super common and the other ones really aren't. Which is going to be great. Take up a ton of inventory space for nothing. Seem to drop blue, red, yellow. Yeah, I have 4 blues and a red. It's not a good sign. I think what they should do, instead of having just an event going 24/7, 365, so they have like 18 events going at once, they should do an event like once a month and actually put some thought and resources into it and make it like a big thing instead of just the same old stuff over and over again constantly. $347 AP. Seems a bit hard to choose spot to grind. I mean, you can grind anywhere you want, man. 347. If you're 247, then Elvia is not super efficient. Centaurs with Agris and Loot Scroll would be really good, though. That would make a lot of sense, JP. It wouldn't be the first time they've done something of that nature. But it's basically just a copy-paste of some of their previous events as well, but they've reskinned the items that drop, which is something they do a lot. Yeah, 247, okay. That's a little bit harder. Like, a lot of it is Agris reliant. Your best money is going to be Agris and Loot Scroll at Centaurs. I don't personally like Centaurs, but you could also go to Kertuga. Depends on what your DP is, but Kertuga is a really nice spot to be as well. Not like, you can use Agris there too, but it drops tongue gatherings and stuff. It's my favorite spot in the game, personally, but... Another event? Sweet. What's your DP? Right there, man. Was that 428 gear score? Rolling in it. 300 DP Wusa. Yeah, Wusa's pretty good at tankier mobs, which Kratuga will sort of be with that AP. So you should be able to do it. Ideally, you would get 301 for that bracket, but... yeah, Fogan's isn't super great, AVL. Centaurs is definitely like the best place you could be, but Kratuga is a close second. Yeah, you'll probably want at least 320 to go to underwater. And even that would be kind of sketchy, but it's doable at 320 if you know how to avoid the slow towers and stuff. Succession Zerk is definitely the best at Centaurs, but I think that you should play where you have fun playing. I used to go down the rabbit hole of playing what was good, and I just wasn't having a good time with it, but... yeah, I would try Kratuga if you want to tank your pull mobs kind of grind, but Centaurs is definitely the way to go. And you should be fine on whatever class you are. Is your plan to push for 301 there, Artie, and then go on DP, or do you think it's time to get some DP so you can go to better spots? You're probably just stuck at orcs now, huh? I get tired of orcs real fast. Best place to get Caphras is the place that you make the most money and just keep orders on the market, AVL. Grinding somewhere directly for Caphras is much slower. Did they recently buff Mystic? Like PvE or something? I don't think it was enough, but... I don't know. Mystic just needs a lot of work, I think. Kachuga's really great with high AP. You get to a point where you're just like 2-skilling the packs. And it's almost like you're grinding squishy mobs again. It's really nice. Yeah, and with more DP, you can just not think about what you're doing. If you mess up, it doesn't really matter because you won't die anyway, so... Awakening Moose is a decent class. It's not like Megu, but I guess nothing's like Megu Wusa. It's pretty decent though. It's better than a lot of the classes in the game. Awakening got a slight buff. You like Succession though. I haven't seen anybody on Succession Mystic for a number of years now. I haven't really been looking, but I don't know, it's just like a lost spec basically. Well, Mystic is like a lost class, but they need to do something with it, man. There's a lot of classes that could use some work and they just ignore them. There's some select classes that are just going to do better than you, Artie. And it's always going to be like that. And comparing yourself to them is what makes you feel bad, right? But if you were to compare yourself to a class that sucked there, you'd probably feel pretty good. So I just wouldn't focus too much on what everybody else is making and just focus on what you're making, right? 70k is still a lot. It's huge. Are the Hongiks coming down? Let me see. Wow, those are really cheap. I don't think it really matters, AVL. You're gonna end up in the same place anyway. Unless the embers are a lot. Let's see. Yeah, I'd probably go gloves first then. Since these are about $1 and the other ones are 200 mil. If you feel like it's worth doing, Artie, like, a lot of people just grind less on the class that's better because they don't like it as much. So as long as you're in the right mindset on that, then it's definitely worth it to tag a class that's that much better, but I don't know that I would totally give up your Musa. Especially, like, if you don't play whatever your main is, because it sounds like your main isn't Musa, that's your tag. But if it's only going to be a temporary thing, then maybe it's worth doing for you. Oh, your main is the Musa. So you're going to have a Musa tagged to a Meiwa then? Because that should be fine. Then you can just play your Musa whenever you feel like it. It does save you money to just buy the Dawn's gloves or the Fallen God armor or whatever, but on the same hand, saving that much money is not something a lot of people can do. A lot of people don't play a ton and don't have the ability to save like that, so it's not the worst thing in the world to just get the Ember and work toward making them yourself. It will technically cost you a bit more money, but you'll get the incremental upgrades, which will be really good for you. There's not a lot of people that can do that though, Artie. That takes a particular mindset too, to just stack up your trash. It's almost the same as stacking up money. You just don't see the money. Like, I've played a really long time and I've never had 1,000,000 trash loot at once. But I've also had no problem saving up for things, so. It's good to have those incremental goals, though. Especially if that keeps you motivated. Going for 1,000,000 trash or 10,000,000 trash or whatever it is. That can be a really good motivator, too. You're a gambler. Yeah, so for you it makes sense to just keep it as trash. But the people that aren't gamblers just do it as silver instead. But, like, in the same way that you see silver and want to gamble, other people see a lack of progress. Because they don't see the stored trash loot as progress, and then they get discouraged, so. Made your account July 1st. Yeah, it's definitely possible, man. Like, Choice kind of laid it out in a series that he did where he got the 700 gear score extremely fast. Right? It's definitely possible if you just play the game. But a lot of people aren't efficient with their time, or they don't want to grind that long, things like that, so it takes a lot longer to get there. How much do you think Pen Blackstar weapons will go up after the cron change, if any? They're definitely going to go up, Superway. Absolutely. By how much, that's hard to say. My guess would be somewhere around 30 or 40%. That's just a rough guess. I'm not, like, great at statistics or math or anything like that. That's what happens though, Artie, is your guildmates don't like grinding, or they grind for an hour a day, or they gamble all their money away. Things like that. But if you're really focused and you really push, then you can get there incredibly fast. It may be hard to predict, Artie, but the cost of crons is going up by X%. So you could theoretically assume that cost of item goes up by a similar percent. Because, like, the cost of crons is what changes how much it costs to make, and they sell for a similar value of what it costs to make, so... I don't know that they will already. People making 2.5 billion an hour are the end game players that are going to be more efficient with their time, and they're going to use crons to make that sort of stuff. But they probably wouldn't make black stars because that's not the most profitable thing. They'd probably make like dawn earrings or Deboreka stuff with their crons. So there will be some increase to supply for a little bit on black stars, but I think long term they're definitely just going to go up a similar percentage to what crons are. 10x combat XP for new and returning players? Interesting. I don't know that I would go the Gauder route, AVL. Gauder isn't really a weapon that you make yourself. You kind of just buy one. It'll definitely be worth it to do that for a small window already, but the more people that are doing it, the less efficient it becomes. So that's going to tank really fast. It's already the best way to push a 250 stack already, even before the cron change. So it makes sense that it would still be that way after, because everything is going to go up proportionally. It's not going to have a bigger influence on one item than it would of the other, because it proportionally changes the cost to make of all items. You should buy a duo Gauder though, AVL, not a pry. And just sit on that duo, don't enhance it. think that's the mindset that you'll find a lot of like end game players are in, is the never enhance anything, just buy it. But then you'll watch them enhance stuff. But the reason they're enhancing stuff is because you can't actually buy it. I think if given the opportunity to just buy anything they wanted, they would choose to buy it. It's just a more efficient route with less risk. And in the long run, you're going to end up saving yourself money just buying everything. It's definitely the way to go. Exactly, shotgun. Enhancing could cost you $1 or 10 bill, but buying it, you know, is only going to cost you 4 bill, so. A lot of people struggle with that too, shotgun. And then you find that those people are better off just saving their trash loot, kind of like Artie does. The people that struggle with gambling just save their trash loot, and then the people that struggle to grind just sell all their trash loot so they feel like they're making progress. Two completely different sides of the coin, it's crazy. Yeah, you can pretty much just retire, man. Especially with all the, like, non-gear related content they've been doing. There's almost no point in having gear anyway, so. Pen Blackstar 6-tap. Yeah, you'll end up paying for that somewhere else, man, if you keep enhancing those, the problem. 20 consecutive yeah, there it is. There it is, Artie. You get lucky on one thing, you get really screwed on another. RNG always evens out. If that's what you play the game for, Super Way, then it's definitely worth doing. There's a lot of gambling to be had. You could basically just sell all your gear, buy T1 cap gear, and then do everything that you do in the game now, but also have like endgame life skill gear, if that's what you want to do. I took a slightly different approach there, Artie. I knew I hated enhancing, but I kept selling my gear to buy accessories. So I'd sell off all my armors to buy distos and stuff, and then couldn't grind anywhere. And it was pretty rough for a while, but definitely not an approach I recommend, but it's the one that I took. Sixth time doing it. Yeah, you just have to stop going back and forth, and then pick one and then build the other one, right? So if you want to sell all your gear to buy life skill gear, don't sell all your life skill gear back when you want to grind again. Just start grinding again and then have both. Yeah, grinding is definitely more money. But life skilling is really easy and calm, and it's kind of nice sometimes. Yeah, even like 670, 680 is the point where gear doesn't have as big of an impact anymore. But it's something to do, pushing past it. Yeah, I hear you, Shotgun. I never learn either. I kept selling my gear and buying accessories, and then selling accessories and buying armors, and just wasting a lot of money to tax for a long time there. Blew up your main gear 4 years ago. This kind of player that always using guild accessories, yeah. You reach a point where you either give up on the game or you figure out a loophole to stick with it, kind of like you did there, Artie, in just saving up the trash loot. That's your loophole to get out of gambling. It seems to be working for you, so... Just gotta get Shotgun to stop selling his gear and buying life skill stuff. Hey, Histo. Doing good. Never. Where's your favorite place to grind, Shotgun? Because ideally you would only sell enough gear that you could still grind there. And then use that money to buy some life skill gear. The hardest thing about Olin's is putting orders on all the freaking elixirs you need. Well, there you go, Shotgun. Just make a seasonal character. Get pen seasonal, then sell all your gear and keep grinding Hystria. I did the same thing, Shotgun. I got the Elton piece really, really fast, but I actually ended up liking Hystria, and I spent a lot of time there afterwards. It's also one of my favorite spots. Right next to Katuga. I wouldn't worry about accuracy accessories too much, AVL, until you're looking at pen accessories. If you're just going for Tet, I would get whatever the cheapest AP Tet accessory is. Because you'll want to build AP first so that you can grind better places. That's your main goal. and you're going to replace the TED accessories for pen ones, and that's when you'd make that decision if you want to build more accuracy or what have you. But you don't really make that decision at TET. You just go for pure AP at TET. Yeah, like the last thing that you'll do, or one of the last things that you'll do is replace your crescent rings for ominous or whatever. But eventually you'll get that all kind of figured out, but it'll be a while before you really need to be thinking about that kind of stuff. I would just go pure AP until like 300 basically. "17 scrolls. That feels like a lot. I don't know how long we've been here. It must be more than an hour. So I don't think we're getting 17 scrolls an hour. That seems crazy. Crystals are just like the first place that you would go for accuracy because how cheap they are, AVL. Accuracy accessories are quite expensive. Marco, thanks man. Glad you enjoy it. An hour 30, wow. Seems like 15 minutes, to be honest. Histo, I was like 698-ish, somewhere in there. I don't remember exactly, it's been a while since I logged in. I've been playing for like 7 or 8 years. $690 is really good, man. Also, like, I don't think that you necessarily have to have a lot of experience to do this. I just kind of got bored, so I wanted to change it up a little bit. But I think you can apply your own challenge to any game, even if you're new to it. Like, games are about having fun. And the stigma around BDO is efficiency, because it's an MMO, everybody's so focused on efficiency. And efficiency just kind of annoys me, so I wanted to do one of the most inefficient things possible and have fun with it, so here we are. I don't even know what the new Node War changes are. I don't really have any interest in Node Wars. I just don't enjoy them. So I haven't kept track of it since... Oh gosh, it's been a few years now. Reaching 700 gear score isn't inefficient, questing to 100k. So reaching 700 gear score in the way that I am is incredibly inefficient. This can be done inside of 500 hours. And that's been proven in a series. But the way that I'm doing it, it's going to take like thousands, probably. Do you have like bullet points on the Node War changes, or is it just a lot? PA's been making some questionable decisions lately, so I worry that it's not good. Okay, so... So, what is the point in... What is the point in T1s then? Because it's not... If there's no, like, strategy to it, what with cannons and flame towers and stuff, so it's just basically like a RBF, and you just go sink their base, or... Yeah, so the idea behind T1s initially was for newer players to become accustomed to Node Wars and kind of like learn how they work. And it's interesting now that that is basically gone. So it's just whatever guild has more HP wins. Or is more organized, I guess. Organization has a lot to do with it, but... I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest with you. I think it's probably not a good change. I think a lot of the stuff they've done with T1s have been not a good change, but... I don't really have the answer on what would fix it, either. I haven't thought too much into it. Choice away wasn't naked enough, he used a lot of groups and parties. Yeah, so he like got boosted to 61 and all that kind of stuff. He did a lot of upper Gyphons and stuff like that. It's all stuff that's in the game, but his idea wasn't to do it in a specific way. His idea was just to do it as fast as humanly possible, and that was his only goal going in. It does seem that way, AVL. Like, there was a time where they were making a ton of bad decisions and they lost a lot of players, and then they kind of started listening to players. So they would, like, propose a decision and then kind of see what the community thought about it. What blows my mind is how much backlash they've gotten on the cron change, and they still went through with it. It completely is 2016 PA, like they don't listen to the community anymore. And it's definitely a bad change, and there's evidence to that, but they are ignoring it. He did a lot closer to like 13 hours a day there, Histo, but yeah, it can be super fast. He's just going to make money and then buying gear, and doing that, you can get there really quick. It definitely has gone uphill since they ditched Cacao, but they are still so focused on the Korean server. And they were improving on their decision-making skills, but this definitely feels very 2016 PA, so I don't know who's making these decisions or why they're not listening to the player base, but I'm sure they'll figure it out when their numbers dip. They're trying to improve their bottom line, but they're doing it in a way that doesn't improve their bottom line. Which I think Biohack also has gone over in his video about how they could improve their bottom line without making such a terrible decision, but I really don't know about the Node War ones, man. Like, it just feels like it's not going to be Node Wars anymore. You're just RBFing on a point. I mean, they could think that, JP, but less aggressive in the wrong direction is still in the wrong direction. And there's people out there that have given them the answer, and they're ignoring that answer. Looking forward to them adding more group grind options. Yeah, most of the group grind stuff is pretty irrelevant nowadays. I think Olin's is the only one that's even worth doing anymore, which is interesting. Turos, I know, used to be good, but they're like... I've heard that the Dekia Turos is really bad. Came back right before the Heidelberg Ball this year after having quit in 2017 due to PA and Cacao pushing bad changes. This is the first patch since coming back that feels really bad. This is the first patch in probably 4 years that has been really bad, Slicky. They've done so incredibly well lately. For the past several years, like, they turned a corner, essentially, and started listening to people. And I don't know what they did with this, but it's like they got their blinders on again. Main problem on con change is 2 million cron price on NPC to 3 million. The gap just getting bigger with... Yeah, so they had to do that, AVL. They had to increase that because the percentage that you got from your costumes was getting too close to 2 mil per cron with costumes. So they raised the vendor cost so that they can go more than 2 mil per cron in costumes as their, like, I guess, percentage of what you get out of them, so that they can continue to raise prices but not necessarily give you an efficient volume of cron stones. And if they keep going in this direction, then they're going to end up doing it again. And then vendor crons will be 5 mil. Gyphon Upper is still A+ for me. My group, I mean, yeah, Gyphon Upper is super good still. It's just like Agris, don't you need like Agris and stuff? And all the groups there ask for 700 gear score for some ridiculous reason. I don't know. I think 5 is too many. I think 2 or 3 is the sweet spot for group grinding. $1.6 mil with cost. Yeah. So, and they're gonna keep raising that, JP. It's just gonna get higher and higher. But at 1.6 mil per costume, you wouldn't wait around sniping the costume market. You would just pay 400 mil more per cron. And then they were worried that they would lose costume sales because of that costumes would sit on the market because of the change. So they felt obligated to raise the crown price. Eduardo, hey man, I'm glad you like it. Mostly my group around 680. I'm the only one 720 and it's way too quick. Yeah, exactly. But all the groups want such high gear for a spot that really doesn't need it. There's so many people there and all you're doing is tagging the mob and they die instantly. Why do you need so much gear? It's like an elitist kind of thing there now. That's why I think 5 is too many. It always becomes like that. Even back when people were 5-manning Sazens, like they had gear score requirements. You used to have to screenshot your gear and send it to them on Discord and stuff, and it just doesn't make any sense. Everybody's trying to min-max something that doesn't make sense to min-max. You know what I mean? Mean a buddy duo Castle Ruins for 900 to $1 bill an hour, but it feels like the only duo spot that's worth it. Yep. There's not very many of them. They removed Paddocks as a duo spot because it was terrible. Olin's is like the only good group grind spot, really. But even the requirements there with all the elixirs and things that everybody wants is pretty steep too. So they need like a... They need to refresh Turos. Turos is a pretty good sweet spot for a duo. They need to just make it better. Or trees, yeah, bring back trees. Old school trees was really good too. I think the reason that happens, Tama, is not because people in EU buy less costumes. I think it's because people in EU are smart and they use the Cronstones to make gear and then sell the gear because they get more money doing that. And people in NA are just like, I'm going to sell as many costumes as I can and just get an instant volume of money. But EU plays it slow. Thing on Asia server, there never costumes sit around on market, so this change screwed many people here. Yeah. And they have to do it everywhere, or people will get even angrier than they already are. So they're just blanketing this change that's realistically for only one server, which is Korea. Because costumes sit on the market on Korea, people don't buy them. And I think the reason they do that is because there's no reason to have gear. And the Koreans have kind of figured that out, so they stopped going for gear. Maybe that's a hot take, though. I don't know. That's what I was talking about with my friends. You people just sell stuff and try to gamble and pull crowns. Yeah. It's much more efficient. You get way more out of your money to make things than sell costumes on the market. I think EU is just smarter, man. They had the accuracy meta way back in the day, and it made a lot of sense, and NA has always just been like monkey brain. Yeah, it's not worth it, Tama. It's so much money, it's crazy. I've done some rough math back in the day on like what an attempt at a Black Star would cost you money-wise, and it was like a couple $100, and I was like, geez. Enhancing is scary though, like it's so RNG. I don't know that I would apply real money to RNG, especially in a video game, you know? Yeah, 2,000 just for one item. That's crazy. We are mostly grinding for scrolls, Slicky. I really need memory fragments to keep pushing my gear. We're also trying to get some money. I ran so low on money that I haven't been able to go to the night vendor and look for my Uragons. And then, of course, all my silver goes toward crons, which are now more expensive, so we're always going to need that, but mostly scrolls at the moment. We're doing pretty good so far. I just discovered that Gahas drops way more scrolls an hour than Crescents, where I was. So, taking a little break from Crescents and coming here to get some scrolls. I think realistically I'm hoping to get carried on the Tri-Crescent so that I don't have to go back to Crescents. But if Crescents drops that, like, item that's the... you can exchange for pity pieces, it might be worth going back there. But I think the only pity piece I would need to get would be Rhoneros, because I have to do Shuriken anyway. I'll look into it here in a bit, but... yeah, 2223, yeah. That's so much. But people do it. I don't understand why people would do that. I guess if you have more money than sense, it kind of makes sense to them, but like, that's just crazy to me. I would just play the game and buy it in the game. It'd probably feel better that way anyway. Final HP pop piece at Wolves with 40 pity while listening to my... oh, well. So, stream is good luck confirmed, or... Glad you're finally done with it, man. That's a good feeling to not have to grind somewhere you don't necessarily want to be. Yeah, exactly, Tama. It's like 160 hours of real-life work. Or you could just play the game for 160 hours and probably have more than enough. Another one of these things, wow. This is like the third one in 10 minutes or something? It's crazy. Those Valors are going to be pretty good for you, Seb. It is a little unfortunate that I got the 99 pities, like... especially with the family inventory change, you can just put the potion in the family inventory. If that wasn't the case, then I would just make a second small one, but I have no idea what to do with it now, so I'm just going to sit on those pities. Is it worth it to push main quest to Land of Morning Light? I would do up to Valencia 1, not do Valencia 2, probably. You'll have to do a Land of the Morning Light quest and all that stuff, though, for your Dawn's Gloves and whatnot. And with the group stuff, you kind of buff Turo, Ol, and Skyfin. You get 50 to 100, well, 50 to 100 mil is like literally nothing, so... They need to make Turos like $1 bill an hour, is what they need to do. Or more, even. Oh, they removed Valencia 2, good. That thing was a nightmare. I haven't even looked into it, I've just been kind of doing quests here and there. Yeah, so the crystal slots that you get, AVL, oh jeez, are these two bottom ones here. So you'll do the whole thing, and then after it, there's like a little 3-chain quest line where you just talk to a guy a couple of times and he'll give you those. And I think you get an AP for it or something. Or a DP, I don't remember. Absolutely worth doing, and you will have to do it if you get the Ember instead of just buying the Dawn's Gloves straight, so. Is it an AP and a DP? Yeah, I don't remember anymore. I still have to do the chest thing. Go discover all the chests. Yeah, the chests. The first time I did the chests, there was one chest that I remember, and I actually broke my spacebar on my keyboard trying to get this chest. So I had to get a new keyboard because I broke the spacebar. Yeah, it was terrible. It's the one in the tree in the canyon thing, but it's up on that floating island. Absolutely terrible. Like one of the worst pieces of content I've ever seen. Make ore, timber crates in Valencia, and then sell them to Nampo. Interesting. That could be a nice, like, passive thing to do. I guess you'd have to, like, set up a worker to get the ore or something. I don't know that I'd want to, like, actually gather for all that. No worries, Slicky. Just watching is enough. Appreciate you, though. You'd have to sail all the way out there, Sir Kevo. I don't know if you can sail with trade crates on you, can you? I don't know. Oh, you can sail with them, okay. Yeah, so you just get yourself a big old boat. Make it in no time. It definitely... It definitely makes inactive trading a whole lot more active, though. I think even if you made 50% less money to just sell them somewhere on the mainland, you'd probably just sell them on the mainland. You'd go like Grana de Valencia or something instead. 6.5 bill in a week. I mean, how many active hours was that sailing your ship, though, Tama? Because, like, if it's even, like, 3 or 4, then, I don't know, opportunity cost tells me it's probably not worth going that far. It's probably more money than selling them on the market, but I don't know if it's enough more money than just taking them from, like, Grana to Valencia. Not enough that's worth it, sure. That's kind of the mind that I'm in. I don't know that I would go all that way. Because even if you get, let's see, it's 6.5 bill in a week, even if it's 3 bill in a week to just take them to Valencia, I think I would just take them to Valencia. Oh, can you send them from a trade wagon from Anacondo? Is that what you mean? You're not putting them on your own ship? I remember stacking things on your horse. I never did trade crates way back in the day, though, Tama. Oh, I see. Okay. Interesting. So the distance isn't costing you time. Huh. Yeah, it could be worth doing. It's a good way to get rid of all your, like, worker materials. That's definitely true. I used to keep grilled bird meat in my family inventory, but I had to make room for my potion. So at some point I gotta do that quest line to give me 2 extra inventory slots. A portion of it, Marco, but I don't think it takes all of it. There's Google Docs out there for everything, I think, Tama. Even like BDO Day has like built-in profit calculators and stuff on them, so there's probably even a website for trade. Yeah, so it's just calculating the outcome from the timber and then what that value would be applied to a trade crate and then telling you the value that you would get if you traded it. That's kind of like what BDO Day does for cooking and alchemy and stuff, but applied toward a trade thing, which is the way people come up with that stuff, man. Like, I'm not a coder or anything. I couldn't figure that out. What's really funny to me, Tama, is like somebody will try to be helpful and tell people what they should do, and then enough people jump on that that it's no longer worth doing. It's really funny watching the market like kind of adjust to supply versus demand and stuff. It's really funny. But those calculators for that are just so useful if you know how to use them. You can find some like random thing to make and just make tons of money with it until either you run the market dry or enough people catch on that there's too much supply now, and then you just move on to the next thing. How come you're not using your loot scrolls here? Because my ability to obtain loot scrolls is very limited, and I really just want to use all my loot scrolls at Turos because I don't like Turos, is the real answer. It's mostly that I just don't have a ton of them, Oh, this character doesn't even have any, but I just don't have a ton. I have 55 loot scrolls. I'm getting a really solid amount of scrolls here, and I'm getting pretty good money, like something like 180 mil an hour, 200 mil an hour in just trash loot. So to accelerate that slightly and then have to take longer to do other things down the road just doesn't make a ton of sense to me. This is a place that we're going to be doing like a lot. This will probably mostly be where I get my memory fragments until we go to Akhman Histria. And I probably won't use loot scrolls there either. I really want to save them for mostly Turos, but also, what's that other place? With the cold place. What's this called? Jade Forest. For when I'm going for my embers for my Fallen God armors and stuff. I appreciate it, Tama. That's the first time I've actually gone to Cagtums with the pity pieces. I've spent, I think, close to 400 hours at Cagtums for the 2 potions that I have on my main. So it was kind of nice. Got out of there pretty quick this time, to be honest. Victor, I'm glad you're liking it, man. I'm having a good time making it, so... Alright everyone, we're really close to 4 hours here. I intended to stream for 2. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm actually like losing my voice, so I think it's time to call it. I appreciate you guys for watching. I will probably stream again. I'm not sure when or what kind of time frame, but we'll get to it. And then probably another video next week on Tuesday-ish. The only part I had to fully grind was the Narc tier. Yeah, so for me, I'm going to be spending time at Manchams anyway to get Caphras, so I'm really not concerned with how long that one's going to take. Same thing with Shirakan. I need Orkanrad belts, so I'm going to be there for a while anyway. Almost doing it yourself. It feels so sick. If I wasn't playing BG3. Oh, yeah. I've wanted to play Baldur's Gate and Starfield and stuff, but I've just been so interested in this that I haven't really spent time doing that stuff. Do you think of yourself as a YouTuber yet? No, I do not. I'm just a guy who likes playing Black Desert. So I don't know that I'll ever consider myself a YouTuber. I'm just a guy for now. We'll see though. Alright everyone, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again really soon.